Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This is episode 2 of my playthrough of Voyage of the B.S.M. Pandora. Last episode, we set up the game, determined the crew, got them to their first planet, did an initial survey around the planet, told us what the general condition of the planet was, and now we are ready to go down and explore. So I'm going to go through how to set up an expedition to go down to the planet, what that has entails and what crew I need to take down, what equipment I can take down, how the portage points works, how the weight of individual things work, and so on. Get the crew down to the planet and then start exploring it. What do we know about the planet at the moment? It's called Picole. It is weightless. It's got no atmosphere. It's got some hydrograph. I think hydrograph means water, surface water. It's in the biosphere. Interesting thing, why is it weightless? Why has it got no atmosphere? I don't know. Will that be determined by the background system? We'll have to wait and find out. So let's go down to the map and let's see what's going on. Okay, so here's the map. Here we are. We're not sure exactly what. There was 3 options. We have to work out which planet environment we'll land on. But we know it's near weightless. It's got no atmosphere. Hydrograph is 25%. I believe that means the amount of water. And life support is 3. So it's not too bad for keeping people alive. And didn't find this last time, but the geology is quiet. So the next step is I have to determine what I want to send in the shuttle down to the planet. Now, just done some working out. Because it's got no atmosphere, I've got to take crew members and put them in an enviro rig. It's not a corrosive atmosphere. So I'm taking down Weapon Officer Aronson, the Ground Survey Officer Riker, and the Medical Officer Scorpius. Those are the 3 crew that I'm going to send down. So I'm going to put those, and those I've flipped their counters to their enviro rig side, and I'm putting them in the shuttle. Then I'm also taking a bot. I'm taking the Ambot, which is this one here. Now, not good for combat, but it can carry stuff. I'm not envisaging any combat because this is an environment with no atmosphere, but who knows until I actually get there. Then equipment-wise, I'm taking down, and I'll explain what all this means. I'm taking the I'm not taking the bot, I'm taking the climbing kit. If the bot breaks, I'll bring it back to the ship and it can get fixed then. I'm taking 2 E-cages, just in case there's a life form that I can capture. The holographer, the med kit, that's why medical officer's with me. Net gun, yeah, taking that. Neuroscanner. I don't imagine there'll be intelligent life, so I'm not taking it down there. That's where it bites me in the bum, of course, but hey ho. Okay, taking the rover, traverse the land quicker. Scanner, absolutely essential. Yeah, I'm taking a stun bomb and toolkit. But of course, just in case, the turbo lasers. I'm taking quite a fair amount of kit with me, so I'll stick that all in the on board the shuttle. Now, what does that all mean? Okay, so because the atmosphere is weightless, I'll just see if I've got a little chart for the port capacity. Here we go. Right, so port capacity chart. So that shows me, because it's near weightlessness, the shuttle can take down 120 weight. Okay. The rover will be able to carry 50 weight or portage points. Okay. So of that 120, the rover itself, let's move that down, weighs 20. So that left me 100. Then each crew member that I'm bringing down, so if we look at them here, that's the middle number, is that 11, 10, 11. So that is 32 points of weight from the 120 is that crew. The bot is another 9. Then all those tools and equipment added up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 points of weight. That lets me 42 points carried on that ship, and that's going to be the amount of supplies that I am bringing down to the planet. Okay, I've just determined the maximum amount. I thought I was being clever by having up to 42 supplies. But apparently the maximum the shuttle can carry is 30. So I've actually got 12 points of capacity still in that shuttle. And you know what? I might as well take a bot kit, a neuroscan, and another stun bomb, just in case. Another bot. Actually, I've got 12 points to play. We'll take another bot and neuroscan and the bot kit. Now we've got 2 bots. I must say bot kit. That takes the 12. That takes me up to my ship capacity. So 30 supplies and everything on board at that point there. So I'm not leaving much behind on the ship other than 5 crew members. 1, 2, 3, 4 crew members. Okay. I have the commander, the science officer, the navigator, and the maintenance man. So that's my expedition ready to go. So now we have to determine what we're actually sending the shuttle into. And this is where we refer back to that paragraph. So C5.9, that's what we've been working our way through at the moment. So I now roll 1 die to determine which hex and which environ we go to. And here it is. It's number 5. We go to hex 0213 with the shuttle. I need a little shuttle counter. There it is, 0213. So it's over here somewhere. 02. There we go. Boom. We land in that environment there. So now the different terrain types, we have a terrain key. So the brown here is hills. The darker brown is mountains. This is light vegetation. And that little dial in there is an alien structure. So as we come into the planet, that's what we see. Oh, and the little, I think that's black lines, there's escarpments. Yeah, cliffs. So we have an alien structure. It also tells me which paragraph to go to. So it's telling me this is hex 0213 and paragraph 137. Let's bring the paragraphs up. 137. The shuttle is set down on a plain dotted with crawling vines. The giant mesa-like mountain to the west is topped with an artificial dome. The climate is tropical. Deploy the characters, bots, and tools in the expedition and explore the landing hex. Okay, so a little that doesn't really make much sense, does it? So you have a gravity that's near weightless, atmosphere none, but we have a tropical, what do you call it? The shuttle is set down on a plain dotted with crawling vines. A giant mesa-like mountain to the west is topped with an artificial dome. The climate is tropical. We've got a tropical climate on an atmosphere with none and near weightlessness. So this is where my story thing starts taking effect. I'm recognizing that the planet overall has no atmosphere and is near weightlessness, but that alien artifact or dome or whatever it just mentions there has created a little dome of an artificial atmosphere in there. I still reckon I've got to wear me suits and such forth, but it's tropical inside that dome because we've got vines and such forth. Again, it doesn't say that in there, but that's how I'm linking those things together to create my personal narrative. So I now need to determine what I'm going to use to explore this landing hex. Okay, so I've got to explore that hex, which is flat, and it's going to take me 2 hours to do so. So what I do is I move on this track here. I've got expedition time 2 hours. It's being used. I'm not using expedition supply at the present moment, so I'm not leaving the hex. What this refers to, if you look at this track, there's different color bands along there. And this refers to how often you have to do a supply check. Now, as it's near weightlessness, it says supply check is that green box there, which is every 30 hours I've got to do a supply check. And once we get to one, I'll go through what that means. So yeah, we're inside I'm envisaging a dome that has brought a tropical atmosphere onto this weightless and non-atmospheric planet. Okay, so we want to explore that hex. That takes 2 hours to do so, and that's done by using, not that one, terrain effects. Okay, so it's flat, explorers 2. Once I start moving, extra hours will be added accordingly. Okay, so it takes me 2 hours to explore, and then I bring up the exploration matrix, and it'll tell me which paragraph to go to. So I've got to roll a dice. There are die roll modifiers. Let's just see. I'm not using hasty movement, and Alien City hex has been explored, so no modifiers. So whenever I roll the 2 dice together, the red one is the first dice, the white one is the second dice. So we're looking at paragraph 2.1. So 074 is the paragraph we go to as we explore this particular hex. Okay, so that's that one there. That rings up there, and I'm also going to take a note of that just in case anything happens and I get sidetracked. So expedition encounter. So an alien structure has been explored or was entered during hasty movement. So it's giving me options here, and do any of these apply? So no, it's not been explored. A flat hex has been explored. Bing! The gravity is heavy or oppressive. Now it's got a comma there. A flat hex has been explored. Does it mean the gravity, or does it say or? It says the gravity is heavy or oppressive. So I've got to see if only one of those apply or all of them apply. So let me find out. Okay, so the rules are a little bit vague, typical SPI. It says if one of the statements is true, the player refers to the listed paragraph. A flat hex is being explored is a true statement. Okay, so I assume then if it would be like a hilly hex and the gravity is heavy or oppressive, go to 0.9. So I'm going to paragraph 009 because a flat hex is being explored. 009, what does it tell me? Okay, the expedition discovers a tortoise-like creature. Choose an encounter strategy. Okay, so I have to choose an encounter strategy. I try to communicate with it, capture it, or kill, or flee. Well, I'm not going to flee. I'm going to try and capture or kill. I want to capture it because the more I capture, the more exploration I do, the more VPs I get for capturing a creature rather than just killing it. So when the director uses table, choose one of the listed strategies, so capture, and roll 1 die. Cross-referencing the die result with the chosen strategy will yield the next paragraph that is referred to. Modifiers. 1, if it's chosen, add the creature's intelligence modifier. Okay. 2, capture, kill, add the creature's. Oh, we haven't determined what the modifiers are. Okay. So I've got to draw. So because it's that paragraph 009, there is a creature with a 009. Creatures 009. There it is. So I'm going to put it down there for the moment and flip it. Boom. All right. So, oh, it looks like a tortoise as well. Fast and mighty. All right. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are its modifiers. And those refer to, that's not what its ratings are, that's just its modifiers. So you've got, the first one is intelligence, and this is reading from the left. Combat, aggression, and speed. For a tortoise, that's quite fast. So the intelligence modifier is only 1. Okay. So bringing that back up. There we go. So, so if I decide to communicate with it, I have it. If capture or kill should add the creature's intelligence and aggression modifiers to the die result. So its aggression. Bring in my order. Add right. Add the creature's intelligence modifier and subtract. Okay, right. Modify the die. If capture or kill is chosen, add the creature's intelligence and aggression. Right, so its intelligence is 1 and its aggression 2. So I'm adding 3 to this single die roll. 6 becomes 0, tells me to go to paragraph 026. Okay. So 026. Let's bring that up. Okay. So determine the creature's aggression rating. If the aggression rating is 3 or less, the creature escapes. 2 hours are expended. Choose another expedition action. Aggression rate is 4 or higher. Conduct combat. Shift the number of columns to the left equal to the creature's aggression, intelligence, or speed modifier. All combat results occurred by it must be taken as endurance losses. Just to refer back to something on there, just in case. 09. If I see it's got a little star there, which is communicate. So if I had chosen, no matter what I'd chosen, if I tried to communicate, there'll be different paragraphs here. Notice the little stars on here. If the die roll result had a result in the star, and there was a star result on that paragraph, which there was on 09, I wouldn't have looked at that number. I'd have looked at what's written there in the communicate. So if there wasn't a star there, I'd have looked at paragraph 17, but I decided to try and capture it rather than just purely communicate with it. But if I'd rolled a 5, modified 5, I'd have still had a chance to communicate with it rather than capture or kill it. But as we just seen, we're going to paragraph 26. So I've got a few things to determine here. So determine the creature's aggression rating. So this now I look at the creature rating table. So it says roll 2 dice and add the modifier for the rating. We know the rating for this one is aggression. The third one is 2. Pound the creature's encounter on the side. If this modifier is underscored, it's subtracted. Oh, that's a good point. Now, it's got all those blinking question marks in the way. Oh, are they underscored? Oh, I'll have to double check that. Okay, yes. I had to actually bring up the actual counter from my game. So, as in here. Okay, to actually work out that is a -2 modifier. If the number's underscored, and that makes more sense now with its speed, it was also, that's a -3. So it's a 1, 1, -2, -3. So I'm rolling 2d6 and modifying by -3 on the die roll. There we go. Right, 8 take with 3 is 5. So its rating for its aggression is 3. Now, I put that on my mission chart because part of the things of determining is I award victory points for actually finding out stuff about these creatures. So we know its aggression is 3. Now, going back to that paragraph, determine the creature's aggression rating. If the aggression rating is 3 or less, the creature escapes. 2 hours are expended. Choose another expedition action. Okay, so we just spent 2 hours chasing after a tortoise-like creature, but we didn't actually capture it. It's gone to ground somewhere. We can't find it, and that's 4 hours expended. So the next action is that we can't explore it again. That hex is now explored. So I will put a explored marker on that hex, on there, and stick it actually underneath the shuttle. And then we determine, right, what we're going to do next. Okay, so we could head straight towards the artifact, well, the alien structure, or we can go one hex at a time. We've got time because we've got resources. So I can do what's called, it said choose another exploration action. I can choose to reorganize my um what my crew and the rest of it. So we're going to take the rover because obviously quicker than walking, and the rover has a weight of 20, but due to the um, near weightlessness of the planet, it can carry 50 portage points. So it itself doesn't count for the weight on there. So I'm going to put the rover on the map because it's going to be the rover. Now, do I go one hex at a time, or do we go straight for the structure? I want to see if we can find any more of the tortoise. So I'm going to do one hex at a time and explore. I'm going to leave on board. Or should we take everybody? Can we carry everybody? You can carry 50. No, because we've also got to now designate some supplies to actually take on the expedition. So how much weight are we carrying at the moment? So you can carry 50. That's, let me work that out mathematically rather than keeping you guys on the screen. Okay. So we're going to take Riker, Aaron, and the Specibot, which is good for combat, if in case we have combat. An E-cage to capture something. We are taking a holograph, the net gun, and the scanner and the turbo laser. We're leaving the rest behind. So that's what we're taking in the rover with us. We can carry 50, oh, and 10 supplies. Okay, so this is now an expedition. I have to mark on here my expedition supply, which is 10. Okay, so I'm not sure whether that represents just food or oil for the joints in the art, I mean environment suits or mechanical bits and bobs, but it's supplies. It's to keep us going. Okay, so that's what's going in the rover, and we're going to explore one hex at a time. So I'm going to move the rover from this hex to this hex here. All right. Now to do that, as we bring up the terrain chart, that will take a certain amount of hours to do. Let's get that out of the way because that's no longer relevant at the moment. Okay, so I'm moving, and you take into account every terrain type in that hex. So there is flat in there. Okay, entered by rover costs half, and there is a hill in there. That's 1. So there's 1.5, and I want to explore there. So it adds another 3, 4, 5. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. I suppose that must be rounded up. 6.5. So expedition time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Remember, it's up when this marker here gets down to this point here that I have to do a uh, a supply check. So the rover has moved into that hex there, and now I need to determine what's there. I'll bring up the exploration matrix again, and again we roll the 2 dice. Remember, the red is the first die. This time it's 36 or 36. Doesn't seem to be any modifier. No, 36. So we're going to paragraph 196. I can type that in the top there. 196. And then see what 196 brings us. I'll bring that back down. Bring the paragraph back up. 196. Always go one too far, don't I? There we go. Right. Expedition encounter. An alien city's been... No. A glacial ice hex has been explored? No. Vegetation hex has been explored and the climate is temperate. None of those apply, so I did not find anything in that particular hex. Let's remove that. I have explored it and found effectively nothing of interest. Okay. So we then move on into that hex and do the same. Okay. Oh, got to work out the hours. So I should imagine the hours would be very similar. Let's bring up that terrain chart again. All right. So we're looking at here. It's got flat in there. Yes. It's entered by rovers. That's half. It's got a hill in there. So there's another one. It's 1.5. 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be another 7. Well, I'm going to keep that half in mind. So I'm only going to add 6 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Right. And then we get that matrix back. All right, rolling the 2 dice again. Again, there's no real modifier here. I'm not using hasty movement. I'm using exploration. 1, 1, 0, 5, 3. 0, 5, 3. Okay, let's see what we actually find on that paragraph. Charge 53. Okay. Expedition a cliff or abyss has been explored? No. So, okay. A cliff or abyss? No. An alien structure? No. A flat hex has been explored or was entered during hasty movement. Flat hex. He's got flat in there. And and then the keyword there's and the climate Saharan. No. So flat hex being explored. But still, see, this is where interpretation. A flat hex has been explored. Yes. Or the or cuts up was entered during hasty movement and the climate is Saharan. So I reckon that or includes all of that. So I'm looking at the flat hex has been explored. 031. If I'm doing this wrong, make a comment because that's the way I'm interpreting it. You played this game before. And that's incorrect. Well, there we go. So paragraph 31. So let's move the exploration matrix out of the way. See what paragraph 31 brings. Okay. A large scorpion-like creature is disturbed in its underground lair by the expedition and leaps out to do something about it. If surprised, okay. It's me. I'm not surprised because I've got the bloody scanner. Right, so let's see what happens. So I've got to bring out the creature 031. Okay. Creatures 031. There it is. I'm going to put it in that hex and then flip it. Okay. So it's called Spiker. It looks like it's got a -3, but I might as well find the counter and then I can confirm that. Okay, so going back on a large scorpion-like creature is disturbed in its underground lair by the expedition and leaps out to do something about it. I then need to determine surprise. As I have the scanner, I'm surprised on a 6. 4. I thought I was going to go 6. So I'm not surprised. Okay, so currently we have on this mission, as I say, we have Riker and Eren as a scorpion creature leaps out. Okay, one character. So if surprised, one character has been killed. Right. So now I've got to choose an encounter strategy. So it's flashing this tail at me. So if not surprised, choose an encounter strategy. Okay. So its ratings are on the actual counter. I don't know if you can focus on that. No. All right. So it's -3 to -3 intelligence, and everything else is 2 modifiers in positive. So it's not intelligent. So communicating with it is probably not going to be a good idea. Okay. Its combat modifiers 2, its aggression modifiers 2, and its speed modifiers 2. So, well, we found that we disturbed its underground lair. Let's go into combat with this thing. Try to capture it. It seems quite aggressive. I don't know. Do I try and take it out? Combat. Creature modifier. Let's try and capture it. Okay, so I've got to find the encounter strategy table. We're in the capture or kill column at the moment. So at the moment we're trying to capture it, but that could be modified by anything. So when direct to use this table, choose one of the listed straight and roll one die. Cross-referencing the die with the chosen straight will yield the next paragraph that is referred to. Boom. Right. So it's got modifiers. If capture or kill is chosen, add the creature's intelligence, which is -3, and aggression, which is +2. So it's a net -1. Okay, rolling 2 dice. 1 dice. The net -1. Okay, 6 becomes 5, and it's got 0, 17. Okay. However, notice the little star on there. As I said earlier, if there's a little star on that paragraph, which there is, it gives me the modifiers. I've got to refer to this. So it says the combat ratings of the net gun and the stun bomb may not be used against the razor sharp talons and shock absorbing armor of the creature. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that star 17, the star was the special instruction, but I still got to go to paragraph 17 because that combat just said about stuff that I couldn't use. Didn't say I had to stay on that one. So I go to paragraph 17, and now I've got to determine the creature's aggression rating. Okay, so we know it has intelligence of 3 and aggression of 2. So we go on to the creature table to now determine its aggression. Okay, roll 2 dice and add the modifier. It says adding 2. Okay, so adding 2 to find its aggression. 2 dice, add 2. 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's got an aggression rating of 5. I put that down on my little chart that I'm filling in here. And this one's called, what was it? Spiker. That's the name of the creature. Spiker. Got aggression rating of 2. Right. Sorry, 5. So what does it say on here? The aggression rating is 5 or less. Determine the creature's speed rating. Okay. The speed is also 2. Okay. Adding 2 to this dial. So that's 9, 10, 11. The speed is 9. Wow. It's a fast little flip machine. Okay. So if this rating is higher than the single highest speed rating among the members of the expedition, the creature escapes. Oh, all right. So I've got to look at my guy's speed. Right. Speed being the last rating. So the Ambot is 3. No, that's on there. Wrong rating. Okay. So Riker is 5. Aaron Sun is 7. And the Spacebot is 7. So it's faster than any member of my crew. So it escapes as well. Well, that's not much fun, is it? Darn it. But we've at least determined 2 things about that creature from that hex. Interesting. Okay. So it's gone as well. So we know there's a creature called a spiker on this planet, and a whatever that one, Fastumodo Fastitamite. Okay, we only determined one thing on the Fastamite, which was its aggression. This spiker wasn't that, it jumped out, was perturbed, but it wasn't that aggressive. A 5 rating, but it was bloody fast. Okay, so we carry on. And now we're going to be driving into some mountains and hills. So there we go. Now bringing back up that terrain chart. That is now a hill is 1. Mountain is 2, so that's 3. We're exploring it, plus 5 is 8. 9, 10. It takes 11 hours to explore and drive into the mountains. 11 hours. Okay. So we're on 11. That takes us to 22. Right. And then we do the same again. We then go for the encounter matrix to see what we actually find. No, that's the encounter strategy exploration matrix. See what we actually find. All right. So 2, 4, paragraph 160. Okay, what did we find on paragraph 160? So we can bring that out of the way, bring the paragraphs up. Now we go to paragraph 160. There it is, right. An alien structure has been explored? Not yet. A flat hex has been explored? It's not flat. The atmosphere is corrosive and the climate is Saharan? No. So in other words, no encounter. Fair enough. Right. So I should put an explored marker there and now an explored marker in that hex there. All right. Now we drive to the alien structure on top of this mountain range, flat ground on top of this mountain range as we enter that hex there. Let's see how long that actually took to do. Okay, so it's flat. So that's half an hour to enter it. And it's got an alien structure. Well, no extra time there, but to explore is 2. Flat, 3, 4, 4.5, so that's 5. 5 hours. Time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not yet at needing supplies. So we have now entered, or going to have a look at this alien structure. So again, I now go to the encounter matrix, exploration matrix on here, and roll 2 dice. 6 and 1, 0, 6, 8. Okay, which means come on. I always get scrolled too far. Right. An alien structure has been explored. 004. Quite implicit there. 004. Okay. The structure is actually a gargantuan living being. Oh. Whether it is artificially created or a product of bizarre natural evolution is not known, but the construction's sudden convolutions and deadly energy emissions make it clear that it resents being disturbed. Communication with the metallic monstrosity is impossible. The expedition may attempt to flee or fight. Dun, dun, dun. Well, as we have our weapon officer with us and we have the combat robot, we might as well, and Riker. Fleeing doesn't seem to be an option. We're here to explore, expand our knowledge, determine what's going on. So Riker and Aaron's son program the robot to help them in the fight. And let's go to paragraph 193 and see what we're actually encountering here. It's a big metal monstrosity. Okay, I better type in 193 in case it sends me anywhere else. Right. So the dense living structure can only be neutralized by cutting into its circuit-like brain system. Okay. If the turbo laser is in the expedition, use the intelligence rating only of 1 character. Oh, blimey. My 2 less intelligent characters. Aaron's son's got intelligence of 7, and Riker's got intelligence of 6. Now it looks like we're using Aaron. So we do have the turbo laser is in the expedition. Yes, use the intelligence rating only of any 1 character, Aaron, so it's 7, to determine the column that is referred to on the combat results table instead of a differential. Oh, okay. Resolve combat with only kill results possible. After applying any required results to the expedition, a small piece of the structure may be ported back to the Pandora. weight of 3. Choose another expedition action. Interesting. Oh, okay, so here's the combat results table, and it's saying using her intelligence rather than the combat differential. So we're looking here in this column here, +7. Got to roll a dice. It didn't say what any modifiers. Okay, so Erin is going in with the turbo laser. A's are a lot better than the results is there. Okay, so we want a low result on this one. 2 is an A. Okay. Creature is killed or captured as declared. Well, it says I can only kill it. 1 damage point is incurred. All right, so from the narrative point of view, so Erin climbs onto this creature with her badass attitude, if you know, if you watch the TV show, and just drills in. Cuts off a little piece of its brain and brings it back, or puts it into the rover. Now we've got space in the rover. Let me determine, and I'll see, because I mean, I think I filled it up to capacity. So if it's saying I've got to, it weighs 3, I've got to drop 3 things, 3 points, or I think I could do something with supply. And I've also got a damage point. So let me work out the damage, how damage is done. Okay, so I can use supply points to take the damage. So obviously it's drawing, this turbo laser is drawing a lot of energy and burns through those supplies. So that's the damage point I'm taking. That's 2 supplies from the expedition, which is up here somewhere. That takes that down to 14. I'm actually going to chuck out another supply point. So that frees up 3 spaces for this creature. Now, I haven't actually got a marker for that, but I'm going to use, well, let's put the explored marker there because we've now explored it. And destroyed it, or at least cut out part of its brain. So it's like, I don't know, we've done a lobotomy on it. So still keeping up the environmental dome. Again, keeping the narrative going here, guys. And have I haven't got 004. That was the paragraph we were looking at, wasn't it? Yeah, structures actually go, oh, blimey, that's worth 6 VP. Oh, I think I'll take that. I'll stick that back down here at the present moment. Yeah, we'll stick it here. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. I've got 6 VP. Woohoo! Right, now what do we do? Now what do we do? Do we carry on exploring? We haven't really expended any suppliers yet. We could go back the same route, but that's a bit dull, isn't it? We're here on this planet to explore it. Let's explore it. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to carry on exploring this planet, but that will be in the next video because this has gone on for a fair while. And I don't want to make the videos too long. So we had a look at the alien artifact. It wasn't an alien, or the alien structure. We dealt with that. I think we're going to go a circuitous route. I want to go through some forests, or the light vegetation there, back the hills. And maybe climb up into this escarpment here. We've got enough supplies, and we'll be going through the supply rules in the next video. So that will do for now. Let's go back up to the top. It's always good to have an air and sun with you. Using her, all right, she's not the most intelligent, but yeah, I feel like I used her let's get things done attitude. If you don't know what TV show I'm referring to, one of my favorite sci-fi shows out there, Farscape. Give it a watch, and watching as soon as you know, played by Claudia Black. As soon as you see Aaron Sun, you'll know what I mean. Badass. Riker, okay. He probably would like to talk to the creature. The creature wasn't interested. So there we go. And that was all determined by the paragraphs, as you know, and that creates a narrative. I'll probably never have that exact sequence again. And if I do, well, that might be sometime in the future. But to me, that was quite interesting. And the bonus there, I'm getting 6 victory points. That's what I worked out. So it's classed as an artifact. So that's useful. Um, because yeah, I need to get twice the amount of victory points, more than twice the amount of victory points as the amount of months of the expedition. The expedition is 30 months. Um, so therefore I need 61 victory points to win the game. The other ways to get victory points, I thought I mentioned them now, are one VP is earned for each creature that is captured and returned to the Pandora. None of that's happened so far. Certain creatures are worth additional VPs if captured and okay. Artifacts that are acquired and returned to the Pandora are worth a number of VPs listed on the back of the counter. So we know that one's worth 6 if I get it back to the Pandora. One VP is earned for each planet that is explored, regardless of what is found there. So I've already got one VP for Picole. This is recorded on the additional VP light and certain paragraphs discuss other methods. Also, one VP is earned for each creature attribute that is recorded. So I found 2 creatures, the Fastitite and Spiker. I've got 3 attributes. So the aggression for the Fastitite and the aggression and the speed of Spiker, that's 3 VP as well. So that's how I'm accumulating the victory points. I haven't had 10 victory points for loss for each character who's killed. Hasn't happened. Might have done if that combat had gone, if I'd taken quite a lot of damage. 1 VP is lost for each endurance point that a surviving character has lost at the end of the game. I haven't lost any endurance yet. 1 VP is lost for each bot or rover that is damaged or destroyed. Got to be careful of that. 1 VP is lost for each type of tool that is totally expended. Well, I haven't expended anything, I've expended supplies. And 5 VPs are lost for each month beyond the chosen tour of duty. So I've got to make sure I'm back off the board by the end of that 30 months. So yeah, don't cut it too fine, in other words. Okay, so that's effectively the victory conditions on through. As I say, looks like I've got to use these little counters. I don't know if that will. No, it doesn't focus. Oh well. Um, but yeah, I've got the counters here, which because of the way that is lined up on the vessel module doesn't work too well. But hey ho, I have got the counters anyway. And I like to feel the counters. It's nice to have them in your hands and such forth. I mean, ideally, I would have played this on a board anyway. So all I can say now is thank you for watching. And yeah, if you could do the YouTube, like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, who enjoy what I do. And of course, any communication and comments. You did that wrong, you did that wrong, interpreted that, and anything like that, or just a general, that was good, or even that was bad, and tell me why it was bad, and then I can improve. It's all helps the channel. So until next time, play games, have fun. Bye, internet.